So I wanted to give you an experience of what it would be like if you are a buyer in Central Florida and you reached out to me to be your buyer's agent. I want to take you through the entire process from the time we first talk until we get to that contract. And then that'll be a separate video. If you are a buyer in Central Florida, you got to stick around for this one. It's coming up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt here once again with the Matt Allen Real Estate Team. I hope you are having an awesome day today. If you are new to our station, as I always say, you got to hit, smash, crush that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so that you're notified when new content comes available. I'm really trying this year to get out my information to as many people as possible. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about my services and how I work here in Central Florida with buyers. And we're going to talk about the second you decide you want to contact me as a realtor, what we talk about in our initial call, and then take it all the way through the showings to the point where we're ready to make an offer. Once we've made the offer and have gotten the offer accepted, I'm going to do a part 2 so you could see exactly what to expect once you're under contract and what things I talk about and help you through the process with. One thing I will caution you that you will not get from me is lack of communication, dishonesty, terrible customer service. Those are all things I do not do. And throughout this video, I'm going to kind of tell you some of the things you should expect. You should expect from any agent, but specifically what you will get with me as an agent. Now, some of these things are going to change here come August, and they also will change based on if you're calling me from out of state or you're meeting with me here locally. So stick around. We're going to start with the number one thing, which is going to be you either picking up the phone or sending me an email saying, hey, I need help. Now, if you send me an email or a text, be ready because I most likely will be reaching back out to you by telephone. It is a lot easier to communicate by telephone to get an idea of, first of all, who you are and who I am. It's very important that we got to get to know each other in that first phone call. It's not a lot of hard questions, and it's most certainly not going to be a hard sell when I first talk to you. Really, I'm gauging where you're from, what types of things are you looking for, what's your time frame, location, general location questions, but just getting a feel for what's making you want to move here to Central Florida, or if you already live here, why are you looking to move? Is it a job relocation? Are you moving up? Are you moving down in houses? So we just spend a lot of time talking about where you're from. I get a lot of conversations kind of go in that direction of where people are originally from, how they made it here to Orlando, what they like about Orlando. You know, what is it that they like about the area they want to move to? So those are very general questions. It's going to give you a chance to hear a little bit about me and my experience. At the same time, I'm going to kind of start writing down notes and start a file for you so that I don't have to ask the same questions twice and that I can start to put you on the road in the right direction. One of the other things that will probably come out in that call is if you're going to be financing or are you going to be paying cash, and what is your specific time frame? Are you looking a year out? Are you looking in 4 months, or do we need to start on this immediately? So that's kind of the first step. Once we hang up, that's when I'm going to follow up with an email and possibly a text as well. So you have all my contact information. I'm also going to send you some information about what my clients say about me, where my website is, how you can search properties on my website. I'm also going to send you a buyer presentation so you can get a feel for what it is that I do and what my experience is. And last, we're going to try to make an appointment either via Zoom or coffee if you're in town or at your present location, so that we can really sit down and go through what it is we're going to do to get you to the point of handing keys over. So that's very important that we set up that next appointment with you. Now, one other thing I'm going to point you in the direction of before we do that face to face meeting is if you are financing and you don't have a lender, I am going to point you in the direction of several lenders that you can choose from and start talking with, because that is the very first step. No matter what anybody tells you, in today's market, 2024, finding a good lender, and I would suggest a local lender. If you didn't see the previous video, I'm going to link it up here so you can see it. But you really need to find that local lender. And I'll give you choices so you're not just thinking, well, I'm just sending him to one person. That you have a little variety to choose from, and I encourage you to talk to all of them and get a feel for who you're comfortable with. The next step is that face-to-face meeting, whether it's via Zoom or we're meeting and having coffee, or I'm meeting in your house, or whatever it might be. That's going to be the most important meeting. We're going to really delve in to the meat of the subject, which is going to be what it is you have to have with the house, the must-haves. You've heard that said before. What square footage, what location, and we'll kind of look at those locations. I'm going to give you some information about those locations if you don't already know, and I kind of take the lead, but I also let you give me valuable input. If you know those areas very well, we don't have to really discuss too much about the pros and cons of them. Really what I'm trying to do is build a search for you during that meeting. We also talk about what is new coming here in Central Florida, but across the nation, as far as everybody's heard about the NAR settlement. Well, things are going to change here as of August 6th. We actually have to talk about a buyer-broker agreement, which is required now, or it's going to be required as of August, that we need to have our buyers, you as a buyer, and me come to an agreement that you will work with me for a period of time. And again, I'm not locking you in for multiple years that you have to work with me. But at that point where you feel comfortable working with me and I feel comfortable working with you, we'll make a small commitment to work with each other. And that agreement will be given out at that time. Very important that we do this face-to-face meeting so that we're both on the same trajectory towards the next step. Now, most of these are going to happen within a very short period of time, unless you are quite a ways out. Like if you're looking a year from now, we don't necessarily have to have that face-to-face meeting. Me setting you up on a search, getting out to look at properties straight away. It all kind of depends on your timeline. Now, if you're ready to go directly after that face-to-face meeting, we're going to get you started with a pre-approval letter with a lender, or a proof of funds letter if you're a cash buyer. And I am going to immediately start building a search through our MLS service so that you can start seeing properties right away. And again, if you're looking within 30 to 45 days, this process is going to only be a couple of days, and we're going to get property in front of you so that you can start seeing what you like. And then the very next step is the most exciting step. Most people enjoy the most, looking at houses. So we're going to schedule time, as much time as you need, to start looking at houses. And the question I always get is, how many houses can I look at in a day? Well, based on my experience, no more than 4 to 5 houses in a day. And the reason for that is you start to forget what you looked at the first time. By the time you get to that fourth or fifth house, we'll come up with a strategy of how to remember each house and how to rate them so that you can remember them when you go back. I encourage photographs so you can see exactly what you looked at, taking photographs of specific things you like about the house. It doesn't have to be the front of the house, but it could be something, I love the pool. Snap a picture of the pool. As long as the seller is okay with that, we can go ahead and do that. So we're going to get as many of those houses scheduled so that the next step is we go out, and this is our second meeting. We're going to start talking and looking at houses together. All right, here's where things start to get a little bit exciting. At the same time I'm setting up showings for you, I am also communicating with your lender. I am talking to insurance agents to make sure the houses that we're going to look at are good to go as far as insurance is concerned. So we're doing a little bit of preliminary work to make sure the house is valued at what it should be, that there's nothing in the seller's disclosure that would be concerning to you. And at that time, we're going to go ahead and set up those showings. We'll schedule the day that's convenient for you and me, because I've got to be there as well. And we will start typically at the first house. We'll meet there and I will start to take you through the house. Now we try to spend as much time as possible looking at as many houses as possible. And this is really where I'm going to end this video, because the next video is going to focus in on liking a house, putting together an offer, looking at values, and then taking you through the entire process from contract to closing. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you do have questions, you can always drop them down below. All of my contact information is in the description. And again, if you get a chance, just hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video coming up real soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.